Okay, this video is just going to explain how to install the RTran software and how to run it. So RTran is a transport simulator, and the first thing you need to do obviously is download that software, and it's just a zip file basically. So here you can see on my desktop I've got rtran.zip, so that's the zip file I've downloaded, which is the RTran software. And you don't really need a lot to install that software, you just need something called a Java virtual machine. Now, I'm going to explain how to check whether you've got that, and then I'm going to show you how to run RTran. And I'm going to do it all on a Windows machine, so this video is just going to cover installing RTran and running RTran on a Windows machine, but it's really, RTran will run on pretty much anything. It'll run on a Mac or a Linux machine or anything, anywhere that you can have a Java virtual machine. So while this video is just going to show you how to install on a Windows machine, it's not much different. And in fact, as I go, I'll make a couple of comments as to what you might do, what you need to do differently if you're going to run it on a Mac, and that should cover pretty much everybody. So download the RTran the zip file, but before we do anything with that, let's just check whether we have something called a Java virtual machine, because this is what we need to run the software. So one way to check on a Windows machine whether you have this is to click on the bottom left and then type CMD in the bottom left hand corner, and it should give you an option to open up something called a command prompt. So let's do that. You get a big black ugly window here, and in that window type Java -version with a space in between and hit enter. And if you get back something that says Java version 1 point something, or if you get anything back really, then you have a Java virtual machine installed already, and most computers will do already. So don't be surprised if you do. It's quite common for them to be pre-installed on most computers. So here you can see the one I've got is version 1.7 point whatever. And what you need to run RTran is 1.6 or higher. So if you have an older Java virtual machine, 1.5, it probably is not going to work. So if you type Java -version like I've done here, and you get back command not found or some other complaint saying it doesn't understand what you're talking about, basically if you don't get a Java version number back, then it either means you don't have a Java virtual machine installed on your computer, or it's installed but we don't know how to find it. In either one of those cases, I'm not going to explain how to fix that, because it's more a general IT sort of issue, and you need to talk to a friend or Google it or talk to your local IT support if you have IT support to help you deal with that. But by the end of it, in order to get RTran to run, you basically have to have a Java virtual machine 1.6 or higher installed. In this case we do, and we've just verified that, so we can shut down this window and we can get on to actually installing and running the software. So on a Mac, by the way, it's the same. So as long as you have a Java virtual machine installed, you just need to check that you have it installed, and you'll be able to run the software. So we have this RTran folder, and I just want to unzip it. And I'm going to unzip it to my desktop. I'm going to delete that RTran bit at the end there, because it actually creates a folder called RTran already. So I'm just going to unzip it straight to my desktop like this, and that shouldn't take too long to do. So there it goes, and when it's finished doing that, it will have created a folder called RTran on my desktop. And you can actually see it's created it over here. Hasn't quite finished yet. A couple more seconds. Shut that down. Okay, so in addition to the zip file I had originally, I've unzipped that and it's created this RTran folder, which I'm just going to move over here so it's not lost amongst all the other junk that I've got on my desktop. Okay, so here's the RTran folder, and that's pretty much all there is to installing RTran. It's just unzipping a file, so there's really nothing complicated involved. Check you got a Java virtual machine. You probably do already, even if you don't know it. And once you've verified that you do, just unzip the folder that the RTran zipped folder that you've downloaded. And that's it really. So now double click on this unzipped folder, And there's a whole bunch of files inside the RTran folder. You can see them here and a couple of subfolders. You don't need to worry about any of them for now, except for this run me. If you're on a Mac, by the way, runme.command is what you need to double click. But on Windows, you need to double click run me. And when we double click that, we'll see whether the software runs okay. So let's try that now. Okay, so I've double clicked and I get a big black ugly window again opening up. And this is basically what RTran looks like when it's running. So this is the simulation running, and I don't expect any of this to make sense yet because you've just downloaded the software. But it prints out a whole bunch of numbers, a whole bunch of other stuff, sort of trying to tell you what it's doing. And we won't worry about that now. If you're able, all that you need to worry about really is if you can double click on Run Me and you get back a window opening up that looks like this. That means RTran's installed successfully and it's running fine for you. It's doing what it's meant to do. Now I'm just going to slow down here because to let RTran finish. Okay, you can see down the bottom it's doing its final run. So it actually does if you pay attention to the all stuff that up. So it should finish in a few seconds. I might just wait till it does that.